The term high maintenance of women is oftentimes used by men, but in a negative context, to basically say that, oh, this woman is difficult, she's materialistic and superficial. Basically what it does, it says that she is too much work and that her needs are unreasonable. But is this really true? Are women who enjoy a certain type of a lifestyle and have a beautiful appearance, are they actually high maintenance? And how does it feel to hear that about oneself as a woman? Because where lies the truth? To unpack this, we always have to first dissect why a man would call a woman high maintenance, or why other people in general would do such a thing. We're going to specifically talk about men, and we're going to try to first see, does he have validity in his claims? Because surely, there are certainly women out there who are difficult, who are delusional, and completely unreasonable in their expectations, and maybe also a bit superficial and materialistic. These women do exist. I genuinely feel sorry for men who encounter these kind of women, but what one needs to really take into account is that these women are oftentimes of narcissistic nature, which I think is really important to think about in this context. Just because someone has a toxic personality disorder doesn't mean all women who enjoy a certain lifestyle or look a certain way are like that. The next factor to understand why a man would say such a thing about a woman is to really look at, could this be a defensive reaction from him because of fill in the blank. Now, the fill in the blank is important to understand here because this could actually be about some of his insecurities that he has about himself and therefore has the strong need to look down on another person to basically protect himself. Additionally, could this fill in the blank also be some form of power play? Maybe he somehow feels not good enough for her, or maybe he was rejected by her, so he needs therefore to degrade her to feel better about himself. And then it could also be just a matter of wanting to have some form of control over the woman by shaming her with words. Now, ladies, please note that I want you to know that these examples that I just mentioned, they really should be perceived somehow with alarm bells and caution, because you have to be really careful when you're dating someone who actually leads with this kind of behavior, when his insecurities take over in such extreme way. So be careful with men like that. I do think it's common that men look down on women they feel intimidated by or who trigger their insecurities. So when this happens, they may call her high maintenance, they may call her a gold digger, they may call her the B word or the S word, promiscuous. So what you as a woman always have to consider is, just because a man says something doesn't mean it's a fact. Always, always, always be critical to attacks and try to understand first and foremost the why he would make such claims, because behind the why you're actually going to discover sometimes the full story and therefore be able to separate yourself from the attack. Then there's one more thing to consider, and I've seen this so many times, is when the man, goes after the woman, calling her all kinds of words and saying she's high maintenance and everything. Although that woman plays in a completely different league to him. She has actually invested a lot in herself, and she is after somebody with some form of status, and therefore may come across as high maintenance to this simple, average Joe type of guy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that she is high maintenance. She is just high maintenance to this average guy because she's playing in a completely different team and field than him. And oftentimes I say men are able to really spot the difference, whose league they're playing in, but I'm sorry, there are some men who really can't see the difference. And then they go after the women, calling her names, calling her high maintenance and all kinds of things. I mean, so ridiculous. Then the other element that we also need to think about has to do with, are high maintenance type women actually reasonable in their thinking? So I'm talking about the high standards, I'm talking about their expectations and demands. Listen, I'm playing devil's advocate here because I want us to think about, is it fair to expect princess treatment or the ultra looks life by anyone? Can anyone just have these demands? I personally think that it depends. We all all know that some people who are kind of higher up, in the food chain can demand more versus others. And I don't want you to be like all horrified now about what I'm saying, because I think we all know exactly how the cruel reality of life works. And this has nothing to do whether you're a man or a woman. And it's not just about the superficial metrics. But of course, I'm gonna say it how it is. An ugly rich man will be higher up in the food chain than the ugly poor man. Now, just so that you know, I did not invent this. I'm just here reporting on it, okay? It sucks, I know, but what can you do? Life is life. And so, for women to kind of rise in status and then be more demanding, she has to then have something in her that strengthens her essence and hierarchy in the food chain. And I mean, those could be any kinds of things. It could be anything about her personality, positives about her personality, her confidence, her appearance, her career, her reputation, her background, her femininity, her elegance. The list can really go on. And this is why leveling up is such a thing among all genders, because many people, we want to improve and we want to be the best versions that we can be, because not only does it help us achieve our goals in life, but it also strengthens us from within. And so if you have any specific level up goals that you need help with, you can visit me at Level Up Class, where I offer mentoring and help with your goal setting and transformation goals. So go to levelupclass.com and check out what I'm currently offering there to level up together with me. But so what I wanted to say about being reasonable or not, because you have to also bring something to the table as a woman, and it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly what the man is bringing. You can bring different things, that's fine, but you both need to be bringing something for the partnership to work. So yes, I'm going to argue there are women who are not aligned with their expectations, and that can unfortunately make them be out of touch and come across as high maintenance. I want to actually take this conversation back to you now, because should you just dismiss a comment like this, that you're high maintenance and completely troublesome? Or should you reflect over whether it carries any form of deeper meaning? Now, I do think self-reflection is important and healthy and necessary for a successful level up process. But I also do think that you cannot take everything that everyone says at face value, because then you're going to lose yourself and just absorb, everyone's opinions about everything and then take them as facts, although they're not necessarily facts. I do think all women should have a filtering system in place where you always, leave that small window open for anything constructive that might cross your path, but only if it carries any form of validity. Because if it doesn't, then it's just someone else's garbage in the end of the day, and you certainly don't want to make that garbage your own. So please do know that you can be 100% unapologetically yourself. So if you are somebody, you are enjoying beautiful, luxurious things in life, you love to take pride in your appearance, you look good, and you want to live a high-end lifestyle. Maybe you're already affording to live this kind of life. And so if this is you and somebody doesn't like your choices or your authentic self, then never feel like you have to dim who you are just to please others. Don't let also these insecure words from people hit you in the core. Just take them for what they are. They're just someone else's garbage that they try and throw at you, So as long as you know that you are a fair human being, you're a decent human being, you're reasonable, you don't act from any toxic nature, then you have the right to be who you are. And if that is high maintenance to some, then you know what? Maybe you're just playing in different leagues. I don't know. Just don't let it get to you, ladies. Oh, and by the way, if you like the clothes that I'm wearing, I have produced them myself, and you can go and check out my entire clothing line if you go to AnnaBayShop.com and see all the dresses and tops and shirts that I have produced. Now, in my next video, I want to tell you more about what to do when people are criticizing your level up, the fact that you're a glamorous person, and simply enjoying the high life. In this video, you're gonna hear more about my tips on how to overcome these annoying situations. So hop on over there, because I will see you there.